Yo, 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 yo. Welcome, everybody. It is Thursday. It is 9, so it's UK Cowboys time. Joining me this week, we've got Mr. Buckfast himself, Paul Stewart. We do have as well Old Grazies and King of Cowboys conversation. Triple H, as he's known in UK Cowboys. Great friend of ours. Brilliant analyst from Cowboys media team. We've got the great and powerful Hekma Harrison. How are you doing, brother?
Guys.
Yeah.
I am good, but as fate would have it, for technical difficulties. You know, this is just how this whole thing happens. It would happen to me that I'm just going to keep talking till this thing clears up, because ain't no way, there's no way I'm getting off of this with y'all, because this has got to work, man. This has got to.
Yeah, we got you. We can see you. Looking beautiful. Looking beautiful.
Oh,
yes.
Good, man. What's up, fellas?
Yeah.
We're good.
Not once, not twice, but third time's a charm for Hekma. Look, he's back again.
Paul, you're looking good in that 80. Is that an 82? Is that an 82 you're wearing?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You look like such a stud in that, bro. I love it.
Stop.
I'll tell you what. Hey, Graham, handsome as ever. What's going on?
Yeah, I'm good, Hekma. How are you?
Good,
I still have visions of the 24-hour show bringing the noise.
Hey, man, I had to wake y'all up, man. Y'all was slacking, man. I know y'all have been doing y'all thing for quite some time, and I was watching it, and I'm saying to myself, I'm like, come on now. If they're going to actually pull this off, they're going to need my help. So that's what that was about. Y'all seem like y'all was slacking a little bit, so I had to pull up.
We needed the hype. We needed the hype train in the building. But yeah. Funnily enough, what's really funny is it's quite ironic that on Sunday we're watching the game, typing away as we do on Twitter, and it's like, look, and it was like one of the tweets we put out. It was like, we love the Cowboys. We love their winning. Biggest thing, though, for us is friends and family back in the stadium. Within minutes, there's a photo of Hekma with his family. Just every single one of them smiling. We're like, that's what we're on about.
Do you know how good it feels? Like, and I'm sure you guys are feeling the same way. At least I hope. I don't know the conditions of the streets over there, but you know, it feels so good to just be around people again, being able to go see your family. Just the things that you took for granted. I think 2020 taught us that you can take nothing for granted. So taking my family to a football game, the smiles that you see are all genuine. I didn't have to tell them, hey, you better smile for the camera. My people in the UK is watching. It's all genuine, man, that you get from us, because again, we are just as happy as everybody to have normalcy back, and having fans in the stands is awesome, bro.
It was the highlight for us. Well, I mean, winning as well, but that's subsidiary to the friends and family. But we are glad. Speaking to you, as I say, over the weekend, and it was like, you know, do you want to join us? And you're like, yeah. I'll be on this so quick. Headphones on so fast, I'll give myself headphone burn. So, funny that we bring you in, and literally, like, Wednesday for us over here in the UK, it's quite a calm and quiet day. Like, everyone takes a break. Our Facebook and our Twitter, it calms down a little bit. It's that little lull in the week. But no, the Cowboys had better things to do. Yes, they came in with a punch, and immediately we're all on our group chat. We're like, well, what a week to have Hekma on.
Right on. No, man, it's what a week we've had, man. Like, I think Cowboy fans, everybody, I think Jalen Smith, I don't care who you are. The whole thing that's happened with Jalen Smith it's been crazy, man. I didn't expect it. I think nobody did. So when I received the news in a group chat that he had been released, and I was shocked, man. But the one thing about it, and so much information has been shared about the contract and how the decision was made. I just feel like if after you see him go to Green Bay and him land on his feet, and you know what we have as our linebackers, I think it's going to be a great move for both organizations.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's a great place to start. I mean, let's start with the news and updates that we always start on, and we'll kick straight into the Jalen Smith news because we'll get some takes from you, give a few of ours as well. So first of all, Keanu Neal, Bradley and I, and Carlos Watkins all back in the building practicing. Good news. Diggs with the back issue. Sounds like he's going to be fine to play from what they're saying. We'll get your take on this, Hekma, because you're going to know better than us. Amari Cooper's dealing with a hamstring. We've seen him on the sidelines yesterday with the rubber bands doing some stretches and all the rest of it. Randy Gregory's reported with a knee issue as well as Zeke. Any news on that? Are they all three of those going to be okay to play?
Yeah, I hadn't heard anything about them not going. So unless you know something that I don't know, Mike, you might need to tell me because I hadn't heard it. I hadn't heard that.
I get my info off you.
Okay. It's a blind leading the blind.
Yeah. And the other news as well, and I got a good little nugget here for you. They've signed cornerback Isaiah Johnson to the practice squad. Another rangy and long cornerback. Here's a little fact for you. Okay. Do you know how many, not cornerbacks, defensive backs over 6'2" are playing in the NFL right now?
Man, that's tough. I'm gonna go wild answer here. 15. What?
Do you pay one have a go? The UK Cowboys contingent want to have a stab at it?
I'll go for 20.
Yeah, I'll stretch it to 25.
Ooh, Hekma's the closest. It's 11.
Oh.
Wow.
Do you know how many defensive backs the Cowboys have on their roster playing right now that are over 6'2"?
Oh,
should be 3.
I'd say
6.
No, it's fine, I'm not cursed. And oh wow, 6, man. I'm telling you, man, we're the Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah. We have over half of the NFL 6'2" defensive backs.
That is the basketball team, man. We're tall, definitely.
Yeah. And do you see how sad my life is, Hekma? These are the things I look at.
This is what we need to deal with.
I bring the odd stats, the odd ones. But let's get into Jalen then, because that was the big one that we got. Hekma, we've obviously heard some takes from you already on Cowboys break. Talking Cowboys.
Don't get us mixed up. Don't get us mixed up, man.
I know.
It's a war going on in the podcast studio between every podcast. So make sure talking Cowboys. All right.
And we don't want to upset you because Shannon is one of our boys. So, but in fairness, when you did go on hanging with the boys, there was an extremely big spike in numbers. So we've heard. Okay.
No. Tell me more, Mike.
All right then. So let's get into it. So a big news that we got, the first news we got when Jalen got obviously kicked out and they decided that was it, they were going to part ways. The first news we got over here, I don't know what it was like in the States, I bet the news is coming from everywhere, was the big reason was the chance of him moving to IR and the costs to the Cowboys in 2022, being that it would cost them $9 million if he couldn't pass a physical or he became injured. I mean, first of all, we know that that's to be true, but what are the biggest reasons for you, Hekma, and I'll ask the other guys, for Jalen moving on from the Cowboys? Why that was so abrupt and so sudden?
There was a lot. There's a lot has been made of the contract, and a lot of people have even applauded his agent and some of the clauses that he had in there. I think he had a roster bonus that Isaiah was talking about that a lot of guys don't get because he was a starter. Right. So that was one. To say that the injury clause had anything to do with it. I'm going to be completely honest with you, Mike, because I'm completely proficient in what I do not know. And I don't know if that was the sole reason that that move occurred. I think that the competition, if it's just for me, I believe that it was the competition. I think it was the Keanu O'Neal. It's no longer being able to have Jabril Cox sitting over there and not getting experience. So all of those things started to come into play, and it made more sense. And guys, come on, let's not fool ourselves. Before 2021, we all had those question marks about the March 21st deadline for his contract being guaranteed. And so you were thinking, and this was before the draft, and you were looking at linebackers, and you knew that you needed a corner, and you were talking like that. But I think Jalen Smith, just from a production standpoint, from what you were seeing, the eyeball side of it, you just kind of felt like, look, this may be time for us to move on. And when they picked up the contract, I think everybody was surprised.
Yeah,
definitely.
I mean, a lot of people were kind of arguing the fact that Jalen may have had like the highest tackles in that, but when you really break down the film, it was like you were seeing a completely different picture. It was more like pylons, assisted tackles, and stuff like that. But it wasn't really necessarily like great gameplay from Jalen. He was just basically following the crowd. But this is no dig. Like, I love Jalen. I've met him personally myself. I think he's a lovely guy. But I think what you're saying is really true. It's down to, like, I think it's more down to the business side, and also the playing of like trying to get like the guys who Dan Quinn wants in more than anything. So.
And that is a big one as well. Dan Quinn, when you look at his system, especially when you go back, because this is why we spoke about this on the show pre-draft about Jalen, that the Dan Quinn system is predicated on a very fast defense, especially the linebackers. The linebackers need to be that shifting around. They're all over the place. When you watch them, they're quick. And that's where Jalen, for me and you were speaking about this, Paul, that Jalen Smith, his issue is his change of direction and his top speed.
Well, I think it's your lateral speed is the more thing that we were more being specific about. Like, Jalen can go downhill and hit the A gap. That's perfectly fine. But for him to kind of shift position and try and run laterally to go off to the edge, that's when you kind of see him getting a bit exposed. So
and just to revisit this, guys, you have to understand, and I'm sure you've seen it and you know his story, but him coming out of Notre Dame, there is no way that the Cowboys are going to get him on the eve of his bowl game. He's not going to fall to the second round, period. And if you think about Jalen Smith coming out of the draft, he was probably going to be as close to what you see right now in a Micah Parsons from probably the 12 through 15. That injury changed the whole dynamic of what his career was going to be. I'm telling you, lateral quickness, that was his game. The guy ran a 4.4. They knew how fast Jalen Smith was. And, man, him overcoming the nerve damage and drop foot. It's like right now, the things that you take for granted. We talk about COVID and the things that you take for granted during the COVID. Man, just imagine not being able to feel yourself put your foot on the ground. And that's kind of what he has been dealing with in the regeneration of his nerves. These are not because Jalen Smith has had a phenomenal career up until this point as far as what he's been compensated financially. But what he's overcome in order to play and not injure himself in the process of making a Pro Bowl, I think, man, we have to stop and applaud that. And it's okay. We're going in our separate ways. We're younger. We're definitely faster. And it just makes sense for him, and it makes sense for us so that he doesn't have to face that scrutiny. He's going to go to the Green Bay defense where he's going to have a lot of guys in front of him that are going to be flying around. They may not ask him to do the same thing that Dan Quinn was asking him to do in his defense, and he may flourish in that situation.
And to go back, just the injury thing, to use a word you've used before, Hekma, it's not just the injury itself as well. It's the mental fortitude to overcome that.
Absolutely. That is true. That is truth right there. That is 100% truth.
Yeah, and we know the Cowboy fans, the issues they have with Jalen as off the field as well. You know, the attitude, or not the attitude, is the personality. The people, what's the best way to
ego.
I'm trying to say the ego. Yeah, the ego and the personality, and I think a little bit of it is misunderstood. I think a lot is. Yeah,
I mean, like I said, like I've met Jalen before. I thought he was a really stand-up guy. He actually
nice guy.
Takes the time and effort, like, to get to know you and stuff like that. I actually spent a good 5-10 minute conversation. He was more curious about Scotland more than about football. So it's really nice of him to do that. But from if you were to kind of think about it, like, I always kind of feel like Jalen would always kind of use brand. He was always about his brand.
Yeah,
like outside of football. And I'm always kind of wondered if that always kind of had an effect on his playing game, being more focused on other things. Like, for example, changing the number 54 to number 9, the sunglasses he does, all of this type of stuff. Does this have an effect? Because I know players in general have like sponsorship deals. Like, some players might be signed to like for example, Dak, he'll do a commercial from time to time, but that's maybe like a wee one-off type of thing. No, like a.
I wouldn't say that for the Dallas Cowboys.
but you know what I mean, though. You know what I mean. It's like, where Jalen, he's got his own brand, so he's constantly pumping attention towards it.
Right.
Whereas other players might have this one wee commercial to do, help this wee small company, and that's it, done and dusted, getting that little bit of extra money from elsewhere. So I don't know if that might have that mental state as well, where he's not playing up to what we expect him to be as well. So it's just another factor to think of as well.
No, man. Let me say this right quick, Mike.
Yeah, good. No, you go, mate.
When you say when I say ego, right? What NFL player doesn't have
exactly?
Ego?
That's true. That's very true.
Every last and it's crazy. Like, for me, I have a hard time dogging anybody that has a great character. This guy, let me tell you like this, guys. Jalen Smith is the kind of man that takes his money, goes into his neighborhood, and he's from Indiana. He's from Indiana, but he's gone into the neighborhoods here in Dallas and taken kids from the neighborhood and took them to a data boot camp to teach them how to code on his own dime. He does that. He does that kind of stuff. He's the kind of guy that gets a think tank together to finance other minority businesses that cannot get money from the large banks and institutions, right? He does stuff like that. And people don't mention that and say anything about that. And then the let's just talk about brand, right? The NFL stands for not for long. These guys know that when anything, God forbid, an injury can take you out. We saw that last year, right around this time with Dak Prescott. He played without a contract the next year. I mean, we call it betting on yourself, but hell, that's gambling. He gambled
big time,
big time on yourself, and you're laying there and your leg is turned the wrong direction. And by the way, you don't have a contract next year. So the things that we get on these players about and we ride them about, it doesn't. And then in the Jalen case, people throw mud on it because, he had a clause if he got hurt. Well, look at Dak. Look at all it. So I can't get on a guy that understands his platform as a professional athlete and uses everything to his possible ability to try and further himself and increase his wealth. And the people that say, I think maybe that would have been a distraction. It wasn't a distraction. He made a Pro Bowl. He's making 150 tackles a year. He's playing with drop foot, and he hasn't missed any game. He's not missing any games. So what he's doing is phenomenal. And if it were not for this, just little things, nitpicky things that people can talk about, I think Jalen's probably your top 5 as far as a person.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And I think that for all of us, it's not the person we're going against; it's the player.
No doubt.
Just so I was not having a dig. I was just kind of like basically some other people were saying. I wasn't saying that about myself. Like I said,
Paul,
I love Jalen.
Paul,
you're okay.
Listen, man, I will wear a skirt with you when you come to the. What's that? That's not. It's a kilt.
Yes, there you go.
My bad.
Call it a skirt. I'll call it a skirt with you, Hack. Don't you worry.
My bad, Paul. My
well, hopefully next month and some point in November and December, you'll get to see me in that. Hopefully,
let's make it happen.
And I won't tell you the story on air. The last time he was stood at a bar in a kill.
Really?
Yeah. I won't tell the story on air, mate. That's for another day. I'll tell Hekma in a message.
Just say it. Just get it done and by with. That's it, honestly. It may as well let the whole world know.
We'll get to it a bit later. I'll get to that a bit later. But the only other thing I was going to add to the Jalen thing, that obviously Keanu Neal, Bradley and I, Ross Watkins, you've got other players, Neville Gallimore, Michael Gallup, all looking to come back to the roster. Was this as well, you think, with these players coming back from injury reserve / COVID protocol and all the rest of it, Hekma, also add to this as well, to the thought of having to move on from Jalen?
No doubt about it. It
has to, doesn't it?
Yeah, no doubt about it. And so much has been made. Like Micah Parsons is a complete beast. He is. I'm serious. Like, and a lot of people that trying to reserve, and I've been that way, reserve that enthusiasm that you have for a young guy like this. No, just let it out, because he is that. He is official. He is the kind of athlete that we've been waiting on as Dallas Cowboy fans. But you hit it, man, with Keanu Neal. He's just the difference maker in this defense, and his ability to understand it and teach guys in real time what they need to do. So, and again, it's not that any of these guys need a mentor or somebody to hold their hand. It's just that a guy that's played in the system before, when you're out there, I believe in real time, and you have someone that understands the defense the way that Keanu Neal does, and on top of the fact that he's a hitting machine. It just makes everything. He is the one player that when he went on COVID, COVID protocol, it just hurt me, because it was like we were just getting that continuity as a linebacker group, that now he goes out and hey, we hadn't missed a beat. I don't think we have. We've given him a few big plays, but we really haven't missed a beat. But just think about what this defense is going to look like with him in it.
It's funny that you mentioned that, Hekma. It's like, it seems to be, it doesn't matter if it's linebacker or defensive end or corner. It just seems to be, well, I suppose corner, we can still question that, but in terms of basically our front seven right now, it doesn't matter who is in or out right now. There seems to be that competitiveness of being on the field. It seems to be, it's like whoever steps in are stepping up. It's next man up always, and they really are stepping up to the plate. They really want to be on the field making those plays. So it's and when you compare that to last year, like the guys that we brought in, obviously done very well, obviously, but from what McCarthy and Dan Quinn, the free agencies they brought in, like Neil and Kazee and stuff like that. You're seeing a whole different dynamic with the linebackers, and even you could even see our defensive front as well. So it's crazy.
For me, it's the timing of the decision is the biggest thing. I mean, you can always ask the question, why not in the middle of July? Why not at the end of the season? I think for now, it's basically the fact that we're expecting DeMarcus Lawrence back soon, which means Micah Parsons goes back to linebacker. You've then got Keanu Neal, you've got Jibril Cox to fit in. And you could effectively find the situation where your highest paid linebacker is spending a lot of time on the bench simply because he has guys in front of him. I think that's what it boils down to. I think that we've got two very good rookies coming in and doing a great job, and then they've realised that they can get by without a large contract. And Smith, I think that's the main point of this deal. It's the size of his contract. I don't think it wasn't down to him being a bad guy, like we've saying, or lack of effort, or along those lines. It was just simply the size of the contract.
It's funny. It's so true, Graham, because it's like I was just kind of saying, it's more of a business decision as well as the competitive side, because they're thinking about why keep a guy on such a large contract on the bench. It's just going to burn a hole, and I'm just trying. I'm not too sure, but if Jalen was to kind of stay on for next season as well, what effect would that have in the salary cap as well? That's what I was kind of thinking. I wasn't too sure if that had a big hit.
I think he's going to. I
was.
think he's going to affect. I think he's going to affect the salary cap one way or another. I believe it's $9 million for next year. Now that's just what I've heard. It may be less because I think there were things in his contract that if he got signed to another team, I don't know if that's this year. That's this year.
Yeah.
I don't know how it affects next year. So Paul, that's it. We'll find that out together. So
Awesome, man.
Yeah, I was trying to find that out myself as well. I've heard numbers like 6.8, the lowest I've heard.
And it may very well be something like that. I know that I heard $9 million and I just don't want to be solid on that because I don't know if that's actually what it is. But look, Graham, back to what you were saying. I just want to say that when Jalen signed his deal, it was a team-friendly deal.
Yeah, it was.
It business decision. I mean, he made a deal when that was what was best for the Dallas Cowboys and not what was best for himself coming off of a Pro Bowl season. Mm-hmm. So, again, all that being considered and made equal, I personally, I wish Jalen well, and I'm sure you guys do as well. But
absolutely.
Everything about this defense right now. And if you guys are comparing anything to last year, it's night and day. It's not even.
Oh yes.
It's not even.
Don't get me started.
It's night and day, and you have guys now in comparison to what you had last year that don't even measure the same. Osa Odighizuwa is guys. I don't even know. I'm telling you, like draft night. Osa Odighizuwa from UCLA. I may not have flinched. I was like, all right, man, he's a Cowboy. That's my guy. But I had no idea that he was going to be the kind of monster that he is right now.
Don't forget as well, Osa, so far, right? We're coming up to the end of the first quarter of the season. I know that's to say with an odd number, but I'm old school. I'm staying with it.
Right on.
Osa has played 9 games.
9.
He's played in all of preseason. Mm-hmm. Don't forget that. So he just hasn't stopped.
No,
and he's in terms of rookie defensive players, he's second in pressures. Number 1 is Micah Parsons.
Yeah, and that's my question for you guys. And I need to know, honestly, y'all have got an opportunity to watch Micah Parsons. Is Micah Parsons a linebacker? Or is he an edge rusher?
Right. So I was thinking about this myself. I like you know how and I'm gonna kind of pass the question back in a way.
No, you can't do it.
Answer the man. Answer the man, Paul.
But I'll answer it, but I want your opinion on it as well. Okay. Like, you know how Von Miller plays? He's more of that type of hybrid outside linebacker that moves to the line of scrimmage. That's how I see Parsons. Mm-hmm. So it can be that hybrid, be the outside linebacker, then move down to the line of scrimmage and be that extra defensive edge. So I don't know what you guys think.
But mine is even more of a cop out than yours, Paul. That my answer to Micah Parsons is I'll use him where there's the weakness in their offense. Okay. Where's their offense? Is it on the edge or is it down the middle? That way I know how I'm going to utilize Micah Parsons. Or like with the Eagles, if you have a mobile quarterback, I'm using as a quarterback spy or even that rover role.
Okay. What about you, Greg?
I'm going to give you a straight up answer, Hekma. I think he's a linebacker.
Hey,
I think he's a linebacker. I think he's a very versatile linebacker who can rush, who can cover, who can go sideline to sideline. And I simply think that putting him at defensive end limits his game. I think he's given one job to do at defensive end. Go and tackle the ball carrier. I think with him at linebacker, you can blitz him, you can hold him in a pocket, you can put him on a tight end. I think linebacker is still his future.
All right.
As the Sam, if you
all right. So guys, he is an edge rusher. And this is my opinion, and I'm
go for it.
He is an edge rusher, and I'll tell you why. You guys if you know this better than anyone. If you have a guy at the line of scrimmage that can put pressure on the quarterback, it completely wrecks the game plan from an offensive coordinator standpoint. You mentioned a guy like Von Miller.
Think about Von Miller. And I'm just saying, before the leg injuries and all that, the kind of impact that he had in a game. That's why defensive ends, edge guys get paid the lion's share of the money because they impact the game. Same for quarterbacks, same for wide receivers because of their impact on the game. I will admit to you, Graham, he's raw. And when I say raw, he is like really, really raw. But think about the athleticism that he has. And you just said it. He has the first most pressures and touches of the rookies. That's just a testament to how this guy is just relentless about coming after the quarterback. Matter of fact, I mentioned to you like this. And Paul, I think you said you played linebacker. Did you play linebacker?
No, I played defensive end.
Play defensive end. Okay. So as a linebacker, you saw him come on that it was a blitz where he was coming in and he made the sack, but the running back went at his legs. And it was really kind of awkward because he almost like ran through the guy, over the guy, climbed him, hurdled him. I don't know what it was that he actually did, but he just went through the guy and got the sack. But
still got there.
Still got there. But as a linebacker, seriously, man, guys are taught to put their hands down, keep guys off of their legs, right? Just keep a guy off your legs. For a guy his size, he has to keep guys off of his legs. He didn't do a really good job of that. And at the linebacker position, I think the one thing that I worry about for him is getting caught up in the wash, misdirection, coming back the other way, and guys getting to his legs. At the edge position, he's just going. You're putting him on the end, and you're telling him, go. And there's not a lot of guys in the league because of his speed, athleticism, and quickness that's going to be able to stay with him. I don't care who you are, how many years you've been playing Pro Bowl, All Pro, doesn't matter. He is going to give guys fits. On top of that, right now, Micah Parsons is 6'3", 6'4", 240 pounds, something like that.
Yeah.
I see a guy. Look at his build.
And he can run a 4.3.
He can run a 4.3, but honestly, Mike, I see this kid picking up another 25 pounds. He may end up being 270 pounds when it's all over with, and he's going to be a freak, just a freak because it's just going to be muscle. So I'm just. Look, just keep that in the back of your mind. I could be completely wrong, and I'm okay with being wrong, right? I'm just telling you.
We all are. We all are.
I just feel like.
Welcome to this show.
I'm at home. No, I'm just saying, man. You got a guy that could potentially, in the next 3 years, he could be a monster. The more he develops as an edge.
Yeah, I definitely.
I have a quick question for Hekma. See, I might be getting carried away with myself, but do you think that Parsons might be one of these guys that, for instance, if he was franchise tagged, he would suggest that he's played more at defensive end, there the tag should be higher? Do you think he sees himself as a defensive end, or do you think he's a linebacker in his head?
Come on, Graham. Let's live in the now. Let's live in the now.
I'm going with that.
See what you're doing?
I'm going with that.
See what you're doing? You bringing up problems in the future, Graham. You just want to live, right? You just want to let's live it. But hey, this is a follow the money business, right? If he's playing edge, of course his agent is going to say, well, you need to pay him like an edge. That's the same thing with every guy that comes knocking for a contract. But what I'm thinking about is just the fact that his athleticism is going to be better suited out there. He can play linebacker. He can cover guys. He can do all that. And I think that's where you get carried away from his athletics prowess, that you want to play him everywhere. I'm just saying, let this guy in the future, whatever you're going to make the position for him, I think it's going to be edge rusher or just a defensive lineman standing around. Yeah. Did you see the play where it was the first quarter, I believe, where Randy Gregory got a sack? Yes. And it was Micah Parsons standing in the edge gap next to Donkey Golston next to Randy Gregory. Now, can you imagine if that's Micah, Tank, and oh my God, and Randy?
You're talking about a NASCAR defense.
Yes.
The NASCAR defensive line.
Yeah. And if there's one thing, not to kind of put you in the spot here, Graham, but if there's one thing about D-Law, he always seems to grab the attention of all the double teams. He might not get all the stats numbers, but what he does do is he grabs the attention from the offensive lineman, and that just opens up the whole ball game for everybody else. But but the way how our defense is going right now, it's just going to be a free-for-all. Who gets the quarterback first? Really?
Oh, yeah. Everybody is watching. Where is number 11? You see it when he comes to the line of scrimmage and he's standing there. The whole line, they're pointing out where is number 11.
That's Mark. That's my favorite comment right there.
Gallimore.
Right, so Gallimore's my boy. I love Neville Gallimore. See, once he comes back, oh boy, I cannot freaking wait.
I like that.
But I mean, let's get on to the Cowboys offense, guys.
Okay.
I know we've usually got swipes that we'll go through. We'll ignore them for now because we've got Hekma and we'll try and get through this. Talking about the Cowboys offense, I thought I'd go through. I found a couple of other nifty stats for you.
I like it.
All right.
Oh, here we go.
Early downs, first and second down. What percentage, and it is the highest in the NFL the Cowboys have, what percentage do you think that they're getting a first down on first and second down?
75%.
I'm gonna go something like 60. 60,
right,
50, something.
I'll go a little bit lower. I'll go 55.
Okay, so the easiest way, right, is when I give you this number, the easiest way to not have to convert third down is never get to third down. On first and second down, they're getting a first down 91% of the time.
Damn.
So I was closest then. I said 75.
Yeah. All right, on first down, on their very first down, when they get a first down, and the Chiefs aren't far behind on this, but the Cowboys are first again. What percentage do you think they're making first down on just first down?
Well,
so first and 10.
If it's 91% from, you said they're not even getting the third down. So hell, it must be at least 70%.
No, it's not.
I'll go 75 again.
Yeah.
No, it's 32% of the time.
Oh, come on, Mike.
Yeah, I know, but it is the highest in the NFL. The point is when you look at that nearly a third of the time they're on the field when it's first and 10, they are. Yeah, there we go. It's 31%. But it's 32, just slightly. I've rounded things off because I like to make things look better. But they are on first and 10 a third of the time getting back to first and 10, which is just incredible. Chiefs aren't far behind, but then after that, it's like it's not even close.
No, this offense is so quick strike, and they pretty much just and we had so many question marks. We talked about this on the show. And just talking about how the question marks were there for Dak Prescott after he broke his leg. We had, I think, 365 days till he's had that injury, and he's playing the same team back in AT&T Stadium. And there were question marks. Okay, how is he going to come back? How is he going to look? Is he going to be mobile? All of those things. He's come right in from the first game and answered every question. Not only answered the question, but also looked better. I talked about it today. The throw to Amari Cooper, guys, that's probably one of his staple throws for the year. You know, they keep showing the highlights over and over again. That throw to Amari Cooper is a highlight reel throw and catch that's going to be a part of his, legacy as a quarterback because he put that on the dime. Those progressions as a quarterback, the things that he's doing, even the checking down from a run play to a pass play, that's something that several quarterbacks do, but is it the right play? Are you calling the right play? And obviously, based off of the numbers that you just mentioned, if 90%, then he's obviously calling the right play.
And it's a testament as well, I think, to Kellen getting everybody on the same page as well. And one of the things I wanted to bring up was Terrence Steele right now. 0 sacks he's on.
Yep.
1 quarterback hit, 0 penalties, 3 games. But think of the guys he's played against. The Panthers D-line, Joey Bosa. And he's going up against, this week, he's going up against Leonard Williams.
So
but the good thing is
Mike, what are you, a controversy going, Mike?
I'm saying Lyle Collins could have a little bit of competition going on, yeah.
No.
I'm saying.
No. And that's cool. I love, look, I think for Cowboy fans, we just want something to be happy and excited about because when we lost our tackles last year, it was like, oh my God. The sky is falling. What are we going to do? Terrence Steele looked horrible last year. I mean, we all we're talking about, Jesus, can we do something about our right tackle and how bad he looks? And now, after 3 games, and please keep in mind, he's gotten a lot of help from tight ends. He's gotten a lot of help from running backs. And those are things that you genuinely don't have to do with number 71 out there because he holds it down, right? So I love him. I love what he's done. I like what Paul said. He hasn't allowed any sacks. And I think when we first heard the suspension of Leal, it's like, oh, my God, we can't have anything happen to Dak.
Here we go again.
Here we go again. And it didn't happen. It didn't happen. And now I think we all feel comfortable about the swing tackle position.
Yeah. I can only just echo what Hekman just said. Collins is still a starter for me, but I feel an awful lot better about the swing tackle position. I feel so much better now. We questioned, myself and Rich, we questioned the possibility of taking a tackle high in the draft. We all did. We could only see what we saw, and we didn't see a great autumn last year. They got better. They did get better towards December once they gained a bit of experience, but I'm completely with Hekma on this one. Stick with Collins, but you feel good about the swing tackle now.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like Tyne Seki's back, and he's not going to go. He's not going to get in the lineup.
No,
Mike. Just to add on top, what Mark was saying there, I'll bring back up the comment. He has changed his trainer from the off season to Terrence Steele.
He did, yeah.
Right, and it seems to be making big progress because, I mean, what Graham was saying there, I totally agree. Like, I feel a lot more comfortable if Leia was out. I do feel a lot more comfortable still being in now. Whereas compared to last year, it was like it's a night and day difference of. Well, I'm not talking about Brandon Knight, just so I'm clear. But the difference from last season to now, you can really see he's really stepped up his game. And I agree. I think Collins will be back in, but if all fails, like if Collins was to be out injured, touch wood, that doesn't happen. We've still got Steele. And I think and the way he's progressed right now, I feel a lot more comfortable now. Because that was the one thing we were always worried about, like you were saying there, Hekma, was all to do with injuries with the O-line. And it dampened in terms of pass protection and even for the run game as well. So,
and what is great is, talking of injuries, Tyrone Smith, A, perfectly healthy, and B, back to that, we'll all touch wood on that one. He's back to being that crown jewel of the offensive line again. Because that's what he was to the Cowboys. And he just seems to be, he's right back there again. And that's what I love.
No, and, we take for granted how good we've had it at the offensive line position. We've had it good for a long time, fellas. And so when we have someone like Terrence Steele or, the Brandon Knights from last year that take over, and it's like, oh my God, man, what do we do? The offensive line doesn't look anything like it did last year. And then our running game suffers because of it. Now, let's think about the Tampa game. We didn't have Zach Martin.
Yeah.
And then Chargers game, we have Zach Martin. Philly game, we have Zach Martin. I'm just telling you what a difference a guy like this makes. And when you have, like, literally in the middle of your offensive line, now you get Leal Collins back and all of these other pieces that you've been having playing together. Let's look. Biotish is also taking a lot of criticism. But, man, no one's even talking about Biotish because of Zach Martin and how he's playing next to him. These guys, the last game, the Panthers defense, y'all, I have a lot of respect for that team. I have a lot of respect for them because of how physical these guys were popping those pads last Sunday. But let me tell you something. Our offensive line was delivering the blows. All right. So when they got tired and they came after them, you were seeing guys getting slammed to the ground. Terrence Steele was literally blocked. There's a play where he takes number 95 and blocks into the Gatorade buckets. That's what's going on as an offensive line. And when you see that and you have a running back two running backs, guys. We have two running backs with 250 yards average a piece. That's the first time in Cowboy history that we've had two running backs. They have 250 yards. So take that, Mike, in your stats. All right. So,
there we go. I'm just making a note. I'm making a note. I mean,
but that's all a byproduct of what the offensive line is doing. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and going back to what you're saying, you've seen other things as well. Zach Martin coming around completely out of position, all the way past Tyron Smith and taking players out on the outside.
Yes.
And then leading away. And bear in mind as well, Connor McGovern playing fullback.
That's beautiful. Isn't that beautiful? Guys, don't you love
that? Is
that?
Beautiful.
Don't you love whenever number 66 lines up in the backfield, my soul gets happy. Like,
yes.
It's something about it that screams, this is fat man football. And
I'll tell you exactly
what
I'll tell you exactly what I'm like when I see McGovern playing fullback. I feel like I'm Mr. Burns. I'm like, excellent. That's what I'm like.
I mean, he is coming in. You got to watch when number 66 coming in. He had a block on the line. He obliterated a linebacker in the Panthers game.
Ooh,
He is playing with, and I hope Kellen Moore, if you're listening. Give him when you get down on the goal line, give number 66 the ball one time. Get him in the end zone one time. Come on.
We had Rob Phillips on last week, Rob the Island, and sir. I made a bet with him, and I said, how many dollars will you bet me that Kellen gives McGovern a handoff a fullback and bumbles it in?
Seriously. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome, bro. Great minds think alike. Great minds.
That's it. That's what it is. So it hasn't happened yet. So the bet is ongoing. So we'll just keep that going.
As soon as it happens, man, get on the phone with me. I'll make sure I get that money from Rob for you.
Yeah. What we'll do is we'll just put it in as an IOU. So you can take you for a sandwich or something. I don't know. Or tell him that's the bet now.
Mike, I can pick up the bill, so I'm flying over soon.
Oh yeah. Oh, don't forget you gotta take the flag. Got to take the flag as well. Just a fact for you, Hekma. Just a fact for you about the flag. The flag is famous. Did you know that in AT&T Stadium, the UK Cowboys flag behind me has yet to see a loss? That's in 9 years. That's in 9 years.
Well, Mike, why is the flag on your wall and not in my pocket when I go to AT&T Stadium?
Hanging off one of the rafters.
If the flag is undefeated, then the flag is what we need to get to the Super Bowl, Mike.
We had an article written about the flag. Seriously.
Because the last time the flag was in AT&T Stadium was the Jacksonville game back.
It was
back in 2018.
Yeah,
2018. Yep, 2018.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
man.
Big shout out to Andy. Hello from Germany.
Germany.
Yeah, they've had some big news about the NFL as well, making it over that way.
Y'all have people. Man, this is crazy. I'm sitting in my office in Dallas, Texas, talking to somebody way away, and you have people from Germany logging. You guys blow my mind every time. Y'all blow my mind every time.
You blow our mind. You blow our mind.
Whatever, man. This is so awesome. I'm telling y'all, listen to me. My only superpower is that I will talk to a child about the Dallas Cowboys, right? That's it. There's nothing special about I'm not a celebrity. None of that, man. I'm just a regular dude that loves the Cowboys, loves talking about the Cowboys. So this is like a dream come true, man. I don't want to wake up. I don't want to wake up.
I don't want to wake up. But here's one for you. Go on, Paul.
I was going to say, like, here's the thing, though, Hekma. It's like we said this to Stephen Jones, and I'm afraid if he tries to make this a bit of merchandise, I'll be going off my nut. If there's one thing we've always said in the UK Cowboys, we're not just America's team, we are the world's team. That's always one thing we've always said.
The world's team.
Yes, sir.
Not just America's team. But in terms of how you think the Cowboys offense will beat the Giants defense, I mean, it's a case of pick your poison, guys. But for me, I've gone back looked at a bit of tape on the Giants, looked at their linebacker core. It misses a lot of tackles, a lot of missed tackles. For me, I'm going right down the middle. I'm going down the middle with Zeke on the gap runs. I'm going on the zone runs with Tony Pollard. Kiss when it comes to when you're playing, and we've got to be careful because we're good friends with UK Giants. But when you're playing a lesser team, I like to use the word kiss. Keep it simple. And that's what the Cowboys need to do. Hand off the ball, get running. Zeke again on another 150-yard game. I said it last week. I'm going to say it again this week. He's gone for 150 yards.
Mate, you just said it in a nutshell there. I kind of see it's going to be pretty much nearly enough the same game plan what we did against the Eagles. If there's one thing I noticed with their defense, there's just weakness down the middle. That's it. And the Eagles had that as well. So if we can just run that, well, not exactly the same game plan, but I'm sure Kellen Moore will have other things to do. Like he'll notice a lot more things. But I think the main thing is, obviously just ram it down their throats pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
And look, man, I when it comes down to NFC East competition, I have a completely different mind state because we play them twice a year. I feel like those are the games that you really got to. Every game you got to do it, but it's specifically the NFC East. You got to come out and punch them in the mouth, and you do that with your running game, just like you were saying, Mike. You start with your running game, and everything else is a byproduct of that. Think about how easy the game plan has to be for Dak when you have two running backs like Zeke and Pollard that loosen the defense up. The Giants play that two deep safety and they're way back, right? And they switch it up from time to time. But I'm telling you, we'll have an opportunity on this defense to get some big gash runs. And then on top of that, we haven't had the CeeDee Lamb game yet. The CeeDee Lamb game where you say, oh my God, number 88 is it's time. And he's been working. He's been working up to it. Him and Dak have had some miscommunications and miscues, but I think this is the game where you see a heavy dose of CeeDee Lamb. But the other thing I want to mention about Zeke, and I think how people have it's either you love him or you hate him opinion about Zeke, right? With just football fans in general. And I feel like it's kind of warranted as far as the money that he's making. When you look at the production of Tony Pollard, you go, well, you're getting paid like a number one running back, and you should be taking the lion's share of all the carries. I don't believe that's true. And let me tell you the other thing. If they're going to be a 1-2 punch, right hand, left hand, I'm stronger with my right hand. All right. And so that's my knockout blow. 21 is my knockout blow. All right. All I'm doing with this other guy is I'm just tenderizing the meat. And boom, and here we go. And he is the blow. And I'm telling you, Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott, as long as they're not listening to what's going on outside of the locker room, but that combination, guys, that is a championship combination of running backs, especially with the production that they're getting from Pollard.
That is a great point you just made. Because Graham, you were on the show on Tuesday, weren't you? Like just there after the post game show for the Panthers. Graham?
Graham. Yes. Yeah.
Like mine, we were saying is like, what would I think it was Brian? I think it was asked us like, who is the best running back duo in the NFL? And people were saying it could be Kareem Hunt and Chubb, and there's Zeke and Pollard. The problem is with Hunt and Chubb is like they're very similar. They're very similar running backs, whereas you've got two different dynamics between Pollard and Zeke. Zeke's the pure powerhouse running back, and you've got the more elusive.
Your gap runner.
Exactly.
Your gap runner and your zone runner.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like what you're just kind of saying there, Hekma, is that 1-2 punch. It's like you're getting that different, like the jabs like soften the blow, then there's the knockout. That's a great analogy to really think about that.
And Stefanski at Cleveland, and just to give them credit, because they're number one, we're number two, I believe, somewhere in that pecking order as a running game. And you're absolutely right. Hunt and Chubb, they have a lot of the similar running styles, but their blocking scheme in Cleveland is fascinating.
Yeah, and so, their O-line is incredible.
Isn't it? But look at when you get a chance. I mean, as a Cowboy fan, we're paying attention to so many things. When you get an opportunity to look at the All-22, don't watch anything but the offensive line and the way that they're operating together. You'll see a lot of that synergy on those zone runs these guys, to be their size, when they get out in space, they are road graders. They are running down people at the second level. And I'm telling you, when you see it unfold and the way that Zeke is bursting, cutting, it's only a matter of time before he busts off a big one and scores.
Yeah.
Again, Mark with another great comment saying he's putting this more to just running with the ball. There's the blocking aspect as well, and it's true, because if there's one thing Zeke's always been great is giving that extra level of protection, and he always has.
And don't forget that if Kellen wants to pull some niftiness out the bag when they need to get a first down to finish the game, Zeke will throw a lateral out to Tony Pollard. Now talk about guts. And that's gutsy from Kellen Moore. I love the call, but that just goes to show how in tune he is with that offense. And he's got their offensive players believing in it. But the other thing I wanted to add before we move to the defense is Hekma was saying it about Pollard and Zeke. It goes for the whole offense. For me, I think that entire offense right now is playing unselfish football, where there's no ego. I know we spoke about egos in players, but there's no ego in terms of there's no like Odell Beckham in there. There's like a wasp at a picnic. There's no wasp at the picnic in this offense. It is they all know that they're all looking downfield trying to aim at the same target.
I think that's the reason. That's the reason that the Cowboys are playing so well on offense at the moment. It's balanced football. Hekma raised the point that the running backs are averaging 250 a game at the moment. I mean, we've gone 200 yards on the ground in the past 2 games. Dak Prescott threw 14 completions against the Panthers, and 4 of them were touchdown passes. I mean, what's more balanced than that? They're not asking any receiver to catch a major amount of balls. I think Dalton Schultz was basically the biggest target against the Panthers. It will probably be somebody else against the Giants. But like you say, level football, spread out, keep it best defense is a rushing offense. So so long as they can continue to pound the ball with efficiency from Dak, not turning the ball over, it's only going to get better. And I think they're in a good place at the moment.
100%. Yeah. Absolutely. But let's look at the defense then, and then we'll finish things up, and we'll let Hekma crack on with his day. So the defense, I think it's quite easy, really, right now to say the biggest threat to the Cowboys winning this game is Saquon Barkley. His last game, he went off on one. Had it look like he was old Saquon Barkley, so he's turning it on at the right time. Just as the Cowboys about to play him, so that sounds about right. But when we talk about Penn State players, do you think, Hekma, this is a game where it's going to be Penn State versus Penn State?
No, man. This is good. This is good old Giants and Cowboys, man. He's got so many other guys that's going to be tracking him. And I think that Saquon Barkley is dynamic. I think he's dynamic as a running back. I really do. I think he is the kind of running back that if you don't keep your eyes on him, he will bust a big one on you, and he'll do it, in a matter of plays, right? But what I've found, and I don't want to be arrogant about the statement that I'm making, but I feel as though our best 11 guys are better than their best 11 guys. That's just how I feel. And so when we go with our base defense or whatever it is, when we line up, we can best anything that they throw at us. And so I don't think that their offensive line can deal with our pass rush. I think Randy Gregory is becoming so much more of a problem than people in the NFL really even understand that he is. Also, guys, keep your eyes on number 59, Chauncey Golston from Iowa.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, yes. Absolutely.
We've talked about Osa Odighizuwa and the success that he's having, but I'm telling y'all, number 59 is going to be a force to be reckoned with. He is a big guy. He has super, super long arms. He is explosive off the line of scrimmage. he's technically sound. There are some things. Now, look, I'm not gonna just say Superman. There's some things that he does as a rookie that he'll just get better at. Right? He's definitely not as raw as Michael Parsons is playing the edge. But his speed, athleticism, length, all of those things. Man, we're talking about just the young guys that we have making an impact immediately just on this game. So that's why I want to make sure that I say watch number 59.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that, Hekma. It seems to be like that game against the Panthers. I know we're supposed to be talking to Giants, but that last game there, I think that's the most of all rookies has ever had like a sack in a game.
Yeah.
Dalston, you had Parsons, and you had like takeaways.
Mm-hmm.
So then you had the takeaways from Diggs. You had two of them. So
I mean, we have done it before.
Yeah, but I mean,
I know that start.
When?
That's really
When do we do it?
as well.
When do we do it, Mike? Come on, tell the people, Mike. When did you do it?
2007 with DeMarcus Ware.
And
I'm trying to remember the other two players' names. I forget. I know.
You can't do that, mate. You can't do that.
I'll get back to you, but that was when there was 3 rookies that all got a sack in a game.
This is what I need to deal with, man. This is what I need to deal with. Hold on a second. We're going to come some more comments up. Joe swinging by from Italy. Buongiorno or Buonasera.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
But
there you go, Mike.
Spears.
Yeah. I knew that. That was the one that was in my main thing. I'm trying to remember who the third one is, but
he doesn't remember the third. Just Wikipedia. You might as well.
I'll go for the game logs again another time. But another one that I think we have to talk about now that kind of ties in, I think, a little bit with the Jalen move. Let's talk about a certain 5 interception guy. I think you brought the stat up already, Hekma, that he now has 8 interceptions in the last 16 games.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the only cornerback in 2021 to have an interception in all 4 games.
Thank you. And then on top of that, the stat, the way that I had the stat, he has 8 interceptions, and based off of the guys in his draft, he has more interceptions than all of them combined. And so, that puts it all in perspective, right? I think we've been talking about replacing Byron Jones for years, and that's just been that cloud that's been hovering. He's like the girlfriend that you like. He's like the girlfriend you let get away, Byron Jones. For real. It's just because his name comes up so much in conversation, but Trayvon Diggs has erased that. And I think, look, man, he has had to overcome so much, especially from his first season. Do y'all remember the way he was getting it from the likes of the Julio Joneses, the DK Metcalfs? I mean, he was getting the business.
One. Holy crap. That was insane.
That was almost bad. The one he rolled up and got him, knocked it out from behind.
Punched it out,
that's the play I'm thinking of, yeah.
That was almost a 70-yard touchdown. That saved him. But it was stuff like that was happening to him his rookie year that just was occurring. And I think for a lot of Cowboy fans, you saw the potential, but you didn't know you had this. No. You didn't know that second interception. Seriously, Paul, when he jumped that second interception, I literally almost jumped out of my seat because I'm like, oh my God, he read the way that how quickly he moved on that. It was just, man, it was phenomenal. And to have that kind of athleticism, I'm really shocked. I'm really happy to have and pleasantly shocked about. And when I just got to say, when Stephon Gilmore became available, everybody was like, oh my God, we need to get Stephon Gilmore. And I see it. I mean, because of the yardage that we're giving up as a defense in the secondary. But I think we already have that. And even when somebody's like, well, maybe he can mentor, Stephon Gilmore can mentor Trayvon Diggs. Trayvon Diggs don't need a mentor. He don't need a big brother. He got a big brother.
He's got a big brother. But I actually quite like the way they dangled that carrot mind. They went, Stephon Gilmore, we're going to release him. And it was like, oh, and then all of a sudden the trade comes in then, and you're like, we see what you did there. We see what you did there. But would you, because Kenny Golladay, their number one wide receiver, had a 100-yard game. I know it was against the Saints. And
I'm sorry, but I think he's overhyped still.
I think they're playing, me personally, mind the dog. Now, I do think they're playing Golladay in a role that's not suited to him, but he's getting the job done. Would you travel digs with Golladay, Hekma?
The answer is yes. Yes,
that's
absolutely.
What I'm doing.
And you're going to do that every game that you go into and say, we're going to deny you this. That's just what it's going to be. We're going to deny you getting the ball to this one guy, and you're going to have to do it with everybody else. And Jason Garrett's offense is really kind of similar to what it used to be. He's tight end eccentric. He wants to get his ball, over the middle of the field. He uses tight ends like fullbacks in his system. So that's what I'm going to be watching. And I think that, and we were talking about the defensive line, I think the defensive line, our defense putting pressure up front on Daniel Jones is going to limit his ability to see down the field. I expect these guys to continue the trend of turnovers, because even though Daniel Jones up until this point hadn't been, I think he's only thrown two interceptions. I just think he's about due for a multiple interception game.
But saying how Jason Garrett, he does like his tight end. We know that. Being Cowboys fans, we know how predictable, should we say, his offense is.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
How confident, though, are you that Curse, being the tight end killer right now, can take out Evan Ingram in this game?
Guys, I'm really trying not to just gloat right now. I am. I'm trying not to, and I want to be fair. But you're seeing it with your own eyes. I mean, you're asking me a rhetorical question because you know the answer to it.
I know.
You know that Curse is Curse is a run pass option killer. That's what he's going to do. You got a 6'4", 210-pound guy sitting out there waiting on your quarterback to decide that he wants to run the ball. He wants a guy to try and figure out how to get out there in the flat so he can make a tackle. Also, what he's doing on tight ends and jamming them up. But it's the run support stuff, man. That's why the decision to let go of Jalen was so easy, because you see what you're getting from the hybrid safety attacking the line of scrimmage. Oh, and you have a young guy in Micah Parsons that's roaming all over the place. So your defense, the dynamic of how this thing works, is completely changed from where you were last year. So when you talk about a team that's predictable against a group of young, hungry Lions, we are hunting. We are hunting on Sunday. All right, we hunting. We hunting.
And I asked the guys this question last week, because you've got Hooker, who's coming along nicely, Donovan Wilson coming back in. How crazy does this sound right now? And I asked the guys, Paul, Graham, and the other guys last week this question. How crazy does this sound? And tell me if this is incorrect or not. That we have too many options at safety now.
Let's live in the now. You guys,
but don't you think that's just crazy? That the Cowboys right now have options at safety.
Okay.
Like what?
This is what I was just about to say. I know there's a setup question for that, so I was going to answer it this way. How long has it been since you've been able to say anything positive about a Cowboy safety? I will wait.
Well, we do have Brian to have a wee question about that one.
Oh, yeah.
I will say that one play, definitely what Jeffy did against the back then it was the Oakland Raiders at the
Paul, you're my man. You're my man, $100,000, Paul. But don't pull out a Jeff Heath line from the Giants from the Raiders game. Was that 2017?
It wasn't deep.
Brian.
It wasn't deep at 17. Holy crap!
It was 2017.
It was 2017.
Yeah. So we're in 2021. So that's like 4 years, 5 seasons.
Oh, God.
I had a little less gray hair then. Make them up.
But you were still beautiful.
I had a little bit more hair.
Obviously, because of the Jalen move, I've put you in question mark. Jabril Cox. Think we're going to see plenty of him?
No, not right now. I think
Not right now?
no, not right now. And I think that what you have in Jabril Cox is a guy that you can definitely get in spot duty. You can get him in places where it's not going to hurt you, whereas there's an obvious run play or an obvious pass play, and let him play an area. And I think that's where Dan Quinn is so masterful at putting guys in positions to succeed, right? And that's I just think, and Brian Gaynor, I'm not throwing shade. I'm reading y'all quotes down. No, I'm not. This is 2017. That's all I'm doing. That's all. I'm looking for some recent stuff. That's all.
Live in the now.
I'm living in the now.
Brilliant.
Oh, amazing.
Yo,
but Jabril Cox, we were talking of, but you're saying that he needs time to develop.
And you guys got this little click. I've been ignoring it, but now I realize y'all are looking down at it too. So now I'm looking at it. But yeah, Jabril Cox is his. I think he's coming along nicely, and I think his development. They're seeing it. He's doing some really good things in special teams. That's where I can point to right away and tell you, yeah, he's definitely going to play a ton of special teams. But right now, I think with the core that you have. I think you feel really comfortable, and you see those guys come off the field a lot less than they did before.
Yeah. And then the only thing I mentioned it that Panthers game for me, that so far has been Randy Gregory's best game.
Yeah.
For me, that was his best. That was like, if you're going to say, give me a signature game so far, I'm going back to that.
I would. I know we're talking about the now, but I would still say his best game was when he just came off out the blue against Tampa Bay a couple of years ago. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I like that. But what I like about this,
but I think with now Gregory having a full camp, no drama or whatever, and that it's only going to get better and better. Going forward now, no going back to. No,
it's more the stuff that.
Yeah.
If you're talking about that game, statistically, it was a good game. But this that Panthers game, it's what he's doing. He's taking double man. He's looping into the middle and he's the guy. Is so fast and so quick off the mark. He's coming on a loop and he's still able to get into the backfield. The pressure he's creating, and the one thing you never see on a stat sheet for a defensive end, and Hekma, and this one, Paul, and I mentioned it before, that doesn't show up on a pass rusher's stat sheet is how many holding calls he had against him. Because that is a skill. That is a skill. And Randy had two very important penalties where the holding calls against him negated big plays for the Panthers. Oh, yeah. That's a hell of a trick to do.
No, and Randy's been doing this. Randy has been doing this in training camp. And most guys, when you see him doing it in training camp, and Nate Newton talked about how good Randy Gregory looking and going up against Tyron Smith to make you good, right? So when he gets those one-on-one, it is. I mean, iron sharpens iron, and he gets an opportunity when he goes on a one-on-one situation. It's really hard to deal with, but again, it's the Micah Parsons effect. All I'm saying to you guys is that offensive lines can no longer double team our guys. And just think about when Tank comes back. When Tank comes back, and you line Tank, Micah, and maybe Osa and Randy, what do? You can't chip block on the outside with your running back, because then you're giving Micah one-on-one with your right guard or with your center.
Yeah.
All of those things are mismatches for any offensive line. And so what you're seeing right now, and just think about, just keep that same thought that you have in your mind about Randy Gregory as the year progresses. Obviously, with anything, guys, we're riding high right now, but health. Can we stay healthy? And we've
the big one,
yeah, that's the big one. And so, can our guys stay healthy? And our depth is obviously going to help us in that regard.
Just to bring up Brian's question, he asked, serious question for you, Hekma. Is there a I think free as in actually free safety rather than number 3 there. Set working well with Chris as a hybrid hooker playing high.
Yeah. And there may be a lot of chances that you see that, let's say, in a Kansas City game where they have so many weapons that you're going to attack you with. You may go with 6 DBs.
Yeah.
And when you have an option with a Jerron Kearse. So that may be there. And you may be able to get away with playing guys like Cook or KZ and Kearse at the same time. Again, I wouldn't see Dan Quinn going with that very often, because what a team will do is just run right at it. But still, you have that support.
So apologies, Brian. I thought you were actually being like free safeties, but actually the number 3. Okay, my apologies, Brian.
Yeah.
All right. Before we wrap things up, then, and we do the fantasy section, let's get some score predictions. Everybody at home. No,
I'll get the.
Go on.
Okay.
Okay. I like that.
Then we're transitioning. Okay. So everyone at home, give us your comments as well on what you think the score predictions will be, or if you're watching this when we're not live, just send them in anyway. We like to see what your score predictions are. Let's give the special guest the first honor of his score prediction, and then we'll go round the wheel. What do you think, Hack? What's going to be the final score in this game, mate?
I don't think there's no way that we don't score 30 points in this game. You may see a 40 burger in this game.
That's where I'm going.
It seriously may get out of hand if things get hot. So I'm going to go as far as 38-28. This is 38-28 as the score.
Like some fourth quarter score going on where they're trying to catch up and they're playing catch-up ball. Yeah.
So,
all right, Greg, give me your score prediction then, Greg.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. I think we're all very confident for a reason. I think we've started super fast this season, playing faster in defense. Our offense is as potent as ever. I'm going to go. Do you know what? I'm going to go heavy. I'm going to go 38-10 Cowboys. I think it's a strong performance from our running game. And as soon as our running game takes the field, it leaves the Giants less opportunities to use Saquon on the ground because they're going to have to chase the score. So I think that's the best form of defense. I think it's going to be a big victory on Sunday.
Graham, you don't look you're not as shy as you look, man.
I'm normally the reserved guy on the team, Hekma. That's how confident we all are.
Go on, Paul. Give me yours, mate.
Right, here we go. I am going full on big here. You're talking about 40 burger. Right. I'm going 45-24 Cowboys.
Ooh, wee. That's a nice game.
All right. I like that.
I like that too. Where you going, Mike?
Mine is a killer, right? I'm going full out here. It's a shutout. All right. So it's 35. It's 35-0. It's a shutout. The Cowboys shut the Giants out. There is another pick six or a fumble recovery for a touchdown. Yeah,
that's a violation.
A shutout game. It's a shutout game.
You thought I was going
UK Giants. We still love you.
That's what I was just about to say.
We still love you, UK Giants.
The respect for UK Giants. You just completely put your armpit in their face. God, 35-0. Holy moly! All right.
Whoa.
We got an even bigger one.
With 57-7, Brando.
It's getting out of hand. All right, so we do the final fantasy section, and then we'll let you get off, Hekman. We know you're busy and there's a lot going on. What we do is this is a post that we put out tomorrow. It's for a competition that we've got running season long where they win a UK Cowboys pennant. In fact, I give you one poll to send over to give to the guys over in Dallas Cowboys Media.
Please.
Yeah, so you guys will get one. But what we do is I give you the fantasy score for the player, and all it is it's higher or lower. So if you think it's more, it's boy, oh boy. If you think it's less, it's oh boy. Okay. See what we did there? Play on words.
I like that.
So everyone watching at home, you could get involved now, but watch the post tomorrow and just put your score, what you think it'll be, and then you're in for a chance to win. So let's start off. Dak, 21 fantasy points. Is that boy, oh boy, or oh boy?
Boy, oh boy.
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 Yeah.
Definitely.
Big game for
Paul
Dak.
Graham. So, Paul Graham, all going high. Okay, Zeke, this is an interesting one. I'm not sure what they're trying to do here.
But before you jump into Zeke, I will say Dak will have a rushing touchdown. I will say that.
I
And a
think
rushing.
he might as
You
well.
think he exercises the demons from the injury, and Dak is going down?
Yeah, I think he will.
Is it a short run or is it a long run, Paul?
Short run. I think it'll be a fake handoff and just walks into the end zone. That's what I think.
Cherry on top.
Yeah, that is cherry.
I like that.
I love it.
I like that.
And now, the only reason I can think Zeke has been predicted for this score is I'm thinking that the Cowboys offense is just spreading it out.
Mm-hmm.
But Zeke, 15 fantasy points.
Oh,
I don't like that at all.
That's a bit of an.
I'm gonna go boy on that. I'm gonna
go boy.
Because I think they attack him with Zeke. I think Zeke has a bigger game than people know, and yeah, I'm gonna boy on that.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I wouldn't say it's going to be like a 20+ points, because when you think about it, like if Zeke was to get 1 touchdown and 150 yards, that's 21 points. So I'd say it could be in the region of maybe like 17, 18, or who knows? But it's definitely going to be well more than 15. That's for sure.
I think it's more than 15. Like Hekma says, they're attacking him with Hekma.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, this is where it gets a little tricky because it's the receiving core for the Cowboys. Coop, 15 fantasy points.
I'm gonna go.
This is the gamble now.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go boy there.
He's going to have a more quiet game. I think what you're saying there, Hekma, with regards to CD Lamb, I think he's going to get more of the attention in this game. I think, hopefully.
All right, Gray, what are you going with?
I have to go with the guys. I think this is CD Lamb's
game. Boy as well.
And I think because it's CD Lamb's game, it leaves less targets for Coop. I mean, just on the Zeke point, are they posting Zeke for 15 points because they think Tony Pollard's going to do really well? Is that?
I think it's they spreading it out, in the offensive.
This kind of goes back to what Hekma was saying, is about this 1-2 punch combination right now. It's like they're giving Pollard. I think like last time I checked, he was given like 12 fantasy points. Last time I checked, I don't know if it might be different.
He had quite a good week last week. It was a good week for him.
Yeah,
because it's the receiving game as well. But okay, CD Lamb then 16 fantasy points. Is that a boy or an oh boy?
I'm a boy.
I'm gonna say right on the middle, like right on the middle. I find that's kind of nearly enough accurate.
16.
Boy. CD Lamb's been quiet in fantasy for a couple of weeks now.
Look at this.
He has to go off sooner or later.
Right.
So it's the CD Lamb score that could separate you all, yeah? All right, then. Daniel Jones, 19 fantasy points. Hang on. He fumbles the ball twice. Twice.
I'm still going to say boy, because he can actually gain up garbage yards.
Okay.
For fantasy. See for like he did it even though they won against the Saints, but he still threw over 400 yards.
Yeah, I'm just saying oh boy because I don't Daniel Jones. And Mike, there was no way that you can go boy oh boy and you say they win 35-0. So I wasn't expecting you to do that. So
I'm with you. I'm an oh boy on that one. I think he's a fumble and an interception.
All right.
One goes for a pick six.
So how many points did you say? 21?
19 for Daniel. 19 for Danny Daniels.
I think Daniel Jones is going to get roughly about 24 points. So that's why I'm saying boy oh boy.
All right. What about you, Gray?
Oh boy, I think he possibly might have a rushing touchdown. Daniel Jones is sneaky athletic, but I think simply because the pocket collapses and he might end up with a rushing touchdown. But I think there's at least one interception in Daniel Jones. That's the problem.
Yeah. All right. Saquon Barkley, 14 fantasy points.
Oh boy, I'm saying oh boy because how our run defense has been right now.
Oh, he's all in, yeah.
I'm all in it.
Go on, Heck. That's tricky, isn't it? That's tricky with Barkley.
It is because you know he can get away at any moment, and that's where that's where I'm more in line with Saquon and those garbage time that he does get the points. So I'm gonna go boy on that. Because he may be
that's a fair point. If we're steamrolling and Saquon's still in the game in that fourth quarter, he's trying to gain all those extra yards and maybe get a touchdown. So you're right.
Yeah.
So if that happen,
I'm gonna agree with Hekma. I think I mean, when you think about it, 70 yards and a touchdown is enough. So I think if you say 35 on the ground and 35 in the air for Saquon, I don't
and
think
it's his receiving game.
Yeah,
He's
it's not
really
crazy. I'm going to
prevalent
go
there.
boy, oh boy.
Yeah,
I don't think it's crazy.
Kenny Golladay, 11 points.
Oh boy. I don't rate him. I think he's. I'm sorry. I'm going to say it. I think he's absolutely overrated. Like he's. I
can't say it how Paul said it, but that's where I'm at. He's overrated.
That's the second time you tried to do a British accent. Tried to do the other day. When I seen it, I was like, "That's Hekma's voice." What was it? Yes, mate.
It's a bloody good day to be. It's a bloody good day to be a Cowboy fan, mate.
Mate, yeah, I was doing it in your voice.
I see when I get the chance to see you when I'm in Dallas and stuff like that. I need to teach you some Scottish lingo. I really need to.
I'm all in. I'm there for it, man.
Just say Iron Brew. That's how you get it. Iron Brew. There you go. Go on, Greg. Boy, oh boy.
I'm going to go oh boy because of number 7.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you there. And the last one there, rookie, Kadarius Toney, who's going to be really playing from the slot. So that's against J-Lo, 9 fantasy points.
That's actually quite I think that could be, yeah.
Damn.
I think that's quite accurate. I think 9 is actually a fair statement. I don't think if it's going to be anything, it's going to be marginal lower or higher from that, I think.
So is that a boy, oh boy, or oh boy, Paul?
Yeah, come on.
I'll go with oh boy. I think it's not going to be anything less than 8. I think it's going to be between 8 or 9. Yeah, along that region.
I'm going to go boy, oh boy. And the reason I'm going boy, oh boy is because it seems as though the other receiver opposite of Trayvon Diggs' receiver is the one that teams are going to go to. So if there's somebody that's got to get it, I would be Tony. I would give him, and in 9, that's nothing.
It's not much.
It's not much at all.
Yeah, boy, oh boy for me as well.
All righty.
Somebody has to score. Somebody has to score.
It's tricky because that offense, it's hard. I mean, people are going off last week's game. It's the Saints. I'm not going to talk too much on that and upset people. But that is that one put to bed. But go on. I know you're going to say something, Nipple.
I was going to say, what about, like, this is not going to be part of the fantasy competition. This is just a question just in general for the chat and for everyone here. How many takeaways and sacks do you think we're going to get in this game? That's the question. That's the question.
No, we had 5. We had 5 against the Panthers.
I'm saying 5
if you would say, which offensive line would you say is better, the Panthers offensive line or the Giants offensive line? Panthers?
Yeah, I would say Panthers.
So let's go 7 then. We go 7. Let's go. Is that too high? Am I
They do have Andrew Thomas. They do have Andrew Thomas.
But it's just one guy.
It's not.
But Panthers didn't have that one guy. They didn't have that one guy, did they, Panthers?
You don't have a stat for that, Mike, hiding around somewhere?
No. I will find it. I'll find it and send it to you.
So Valenti's went for 5 sacks and 3 takeaways. So 3 interceptions. So
we were asking about that today, about the takeaways and can it last? And I just think that
it has to come down to earth at some point.
Yeah.
But I feel as though if you're generating the kind of pressure that we're generating, I think it continues because you're forcing quarterbacks to make a split decision where you may have a guy sitting in that zone. So those are the things that I mean, as long as we're getting pressure, I think those things will continue. So, I'm going to say 5 sacks, 4 sacks. That'll be beautiful.
I'll tell you what,
5 sacks.
I'll tell you something though. If we're going to continue with this pressure and stuff like that, God knows what's going to happen when we play the Saints. James Winston playing your quarterback. Interceptions galore.
Yeah, I like that.
It was a pleasure, Hekma, to talk to you. We will pay the bills in a minute once you've done your thing. But
Mike, man, come on, man. Listen, guys, I'm dead serious when I say this. Anytime y'all need me, just hit me up, man. I'm there for y'all. Paul, when you get here, if I don't see you when you get here, I'm gonna take that personally.
No, don't you worry, Hekma. I will be there. Don't worry. I'll be speaking to Shannon about this as well, and I think Mike's just frozen up for a second here, so you can tell he's not moving. So. Oh, there he is.
I'm back.
No, but yeah, I'm going to speak to Shannon as well because me and Shannon are quite close friends. So, but yeah, hopefully I'll get one day on the at the start, and if you're about, we'll definitely catch up and stuff like that for sure.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, man. Thank y'all. I really, let me just say this, guys. Thank y'all. I appreciate the love that y'all show me over here. It really means a lot to me. Just all the love that I get. Man, people hit me up and say I'm from Canada. I'm from all over the place. And it literally blows my mind. And I'm telling you guys, don't wake me up. Don't wake me up.
No, I always know. I'm always sitting there and I can see, and I'm like, no. Wait till 1 PM.
Thank you. No, thank you. I appreciate
time differences,
Yeah, it's a boogie. What time is it over there for you guys?
10:30.
10:30 in the night.
Okay.
But it was like I said to you before that over here in the UK, we get games and they finish at like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. The only thing that gets us through those cold mornings and those cold days is the warm, effervescent glow of all of your voices over there.
Man, that's awesome, man. That's incredible. That's incredible. I mean, for real, Mike. And listen, man, the next time you interrupt Paul about a stat that you have your stuff together, man. At least have your people if you're going to interrupt. Come on, man. Don't do Paul like that. You don't even have the people. And then you got to get help from the chat on the bottom. Hey, come on, man. Come on, you better than that, Mike. You better than that, Mike. I believe you. Man, love you guys, man. Love y'all, man. Holler at me anytime, man. I appreciate y'all for real.
We'll talk to you over the weekend again, Heck, man. It's been a pleasure to have you and for your time as well, that we know.
All right, Graham, you tiger. You're a tiger, Graham. I know it. Later.
Yeah. See you again, Hekma. And there he is. So we will quickly, before we bust out of here, we will pay the bills. So, guys, we are allowed to travel to America. Yeehaw! That means Cowboys Experience and their events are available to people in the UK. If you're going to go to any of the games this year, make sure you book it through Cowboys Experience. They have game day tickets, stadium tours, tailgate parties, the whole shebang, an entire package you don't want to miss. And if you just tell them UK Cowboys sent you, guys, what happens?
You get free stuff.
It's
literally just simple. UK Cowboys send free stuff.
And there you have it.
Oh, Mike, just to let people know, it's like we're still awaiting for the official date from people to fly over to the US, even though they say it's early November, but we're still waiting for the specific date. So don't book your flights just yet. If you're
Paul has his finger on the pulse on this one.
Yeah, so
we have a government insider.
Yeah, so the way I'm standing right now, I am due to fly out for the 4th of November. And hopefully I get to go to the Denver Broncos game. I hope that's the case. But we don't know what's going on. We are waiting for word if it's going to be the 1st of November, like the government, US government are going to say. If that's that, then great. But if not, then I'll probably have to reschedule my flight. So like I said, just watch it when you're booking your flights. Just wait for the official word from the government when you're booking your flights.
So you haven't bought game day tickets yet?
Oh no, I not just yet. I'm just waiting word from the government. I will get them though.
Well,
no, I will get them. Don't worry.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you need to, I can have words.
Oh no, I'm already.
All right then. Okay, all right. But that is it for this week.
He's going to be Jerry's butler.
As long as he's not like the butler of American Pie. But
did we give a shout out to everybody?
Yeah, we've done that. We've done the shout out. So we're all set up here. So, guys, make sure you join us if you're in the UK Cowboys fan group. We'll be there in the chat and on Twitter doing the play-by-play if you can't watch the game. But that is it for this week. From myself, from Paul and Graham, I'll let them finish off the show, and we'll see you all over the weekend, guys. Have a safe one.
Go Cowboys, and let's get that dub.
See you next time.